Ever wonder how you can catch a ball or play an instrument or even just walk across the room without toppling over? Well, it turns out there's this unsung hero in your brain, kind of like a master editor, that works 24/7 behind the scenes, making sure every single one of your movements is smooth and coordinated. That hero is the cerebellum. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works its magic. I mean, really think about that for a second. The number of tiny calculations your brain has to do for something as simple as picking up a glass of water is just mind-boggling. So, how come we're not all just lurching around like badly programmed robots? Well, it's because your brain has a secret weapon. It's got this incredible co-processor that's totally dedicated to quality control. Its whole job is to take these clumsy initial commands and turn them into graceful, fluid action. And yep, you guessed it, that co-processor is the cerebellum. Okay, so to really get what the cerebellum is doing, you have to understand this one key idea. Every single movement you make starts out as a first draft. It's just a rough, messy plan that needs a ton of editing before it's ready for showtime. Here's the best way to think about it. Your motor cortex, that's the writer. It comes up with the big idea, hey, let's pick up that cup. But the cerebellum, it's the master editor. It takes that rough draft, cleans it up, fixes all the errors, and makes it absolutely perfect. So super important distinction. It doesn't start the movement, it perfects it. Now, what's so cool is that this editing office isn't just one big open plan space. Oh no, it has highly specialized departments, and each one is in charge of a totally different part of our movement's quality control. And if we take a peek inside, you can see this division of labor perfectly. You've got the vestibulocerebellum. Its whole job is balance and keeping your eyes stable. Then there's the spinocerebellum, which is all about posture and making those little real-time corrections while you're moving. And then you have the big boss, the cerebrocerebellum. This is the department for high-level planning and, crucially, for learning complex new skills, like nailing a guitar solo. Right, so for any editor to do a good job, they need information, right? The cerebellum is no different. It needs two key things. First, it has to see the original plan, that first draft we talked about. And second, it needs a live feed of how that movement is actually playing out in the real world. So, that first piece of the puzzle, the intended plan, it gets delivered by these messengers called mossy fibers. You can think of them as couriers, zipping the first draft of the movement command from the cortex and the spinal cord straight over to the cerebellum for its review. Now, these mossy fibers don't just whisper the plan to one person. No way. They shout it out, activating literally millions of tiny little granule cells. These cells then broadcast the plan all over the place along these things called parallel fibers. It's a massive distribution network to make sure the plan gets to the desk of the main decision maker, the Purkinje cell. Okay, but remember, the editor also needs to know what's actually going on. Is the movement happening the way it was planned? That's where the second input comes in. This is the live performance review, and it's delivered by a very, very special kind of messenger. This messenger is called the climbing fiber, and it basically carries one thing, an error signal. The moment you trip or your hand misses what it was reaching for, a climbing fiber sends a single, massive, "Whoa, something is wrong here," signal straight to the cerebellum. It's like a big red alarm bell that forces the whole system to stop and pay attention. So we've got the plan delivered by the mossy fibers, and we've got the error report from the climbing fibers. Now the real magic happens. We go deep inside the cerebellar cortex, where these two signals are finally going to be compared. And the star of this whole show, without a doubt, is the Purkinje zone. This is the only neuron that sends signals out of the cerebellar cortex. And here's the crazy part. Its main job isn't to say go, it's to say stop. Or maybe more accurately, less. It uses this neurotransmitter called GABA to basically pump the brakes on our movement commands. This quote just nails it. Your brain is basically always screaming, go, go, go. The entire job of the cerebellum is to listen to that and then carefully and precisely say, whoa there, to sculpt the final movement. It's all about applying the brakes at exactly the right time and in exactly the right place. And this is how we learn to get better at things. It's incredible. When a whoops, that was an error signal from a climbing fiber arrives at a Purkinje cell at the exact same time as here was the plan signal from a parallel fiber, something amazing happens. The connection between them gets weaker. That's called long-term depression. It's literally the brain learning, hey, that specific plan led to an error, So let's make that connection weaker so it's less likely to happen next time. That's motor learning right there. Okay, so the plan's been reviewed, the errors have been flagged, and the corrections have all been calculated. Now it's finally time to send out the finished, polished, final draft of the movement command. And this final command gets sent out from these structures called the deep cerebellar nuclei. Now, unlike those brake-pumping Purkinje cells, these nuclei are all about excitement. They are always trying to send a big, excitatory go signal to the rest of the brain. So what you get is this amazing push and pull, this beautiful little dance. The deep nuclei are just constantly shouting, more movement, faster, go, go, go. And the Purkinje cells, based on all that incredible processing, are whispering back, a little less here, hold back there. The final signal that leaves the cerebellum is the perfect balance between that constant go and that calculated stop. It's the perfectly refined motor command. So what happens when this master editor just goes offline? Well, if the cerebellum gets damaged, the effects are really immediate and obvious. And a key thing to remember is that the problems always show up on the same side of the body as the damage. You start to see things like ataxia, which is really just that clumsy, robotic movement we talked about at the very beginning, or dysmetria. That's a total failure of the editor's comparator function. You can't tell when to stop, so you reach for a glass and your hand either shoots past it or stops short. And then there's an intention tremor. This is a shake that gets worse the closer you get to your target, a dead giveaway that the real-time editor just isn't working. And I've just got to leave you with this one last, absolutely wild fact. The cerebellum, it's only about 10% of your brain's total size, its volume. But it is packed so incredibly densely with processing power that it contains over half of all the neurons in your entire brain. It is an absolute computational powerhouse. So the next time you learn a new dance move, or perfect your golf swing, or even just sign your name without thinking about it, maybe give a little nod to your brain's master editor. It's working around the clock to make you look good. So I guess the only question left is, what new skill are you going to give it to master next?